fucking give me that shit. Here we go. Nice. So close. And one more thing over here. Okay, good. I can minimize. Hmm. Am I asking too much here? Six minutes. I don't really need this one open right now, do I? Oh shit, yes I do. Let's get the points and shit for YouTube. Fuck. Oh, come on. That logs are racking up. Anytime today you want to catch up, motherfucker. No, I really don't think I'm asking too much of this thing. There we go. What's up, everybody? Trying to get fucking Facebook working. The fuck? These are working, I think. Turn that off. So, as the title says, I got fired. I'm not overly concerned about it, though. Fuck off. They had already started looking elsewhere. Fact of the matter is, I'm a truck driver. And, there is a significant shortage of truck drivers right now. And I've been making about half of what I should be in my line of work. And I was getting sick of it. Not only that, I was constantly getting singled out. And this is not a matter of like fucked up perception. It's a fact. I mean, when I have coworkers asking me why I'm singled out, obviously I'm not imagining this. I wasn't getting paid enough for what they were having me do. Plain and simple. I wasn't even getting $18 an hour. They wanted me to work on trucks. You know, I started working on the trucks and shit thinking that would put me in a position to... I don't want these on. Put me in a position to make more money. And, I don't know if I'm live on Facebook right now. After doing that for a couple of years, like, not so much as an extra fucking dime. Granted, I wasn't the best fucking employee. I have my personal issues and shit. It's not easy for me to fucking hold down a typical day job. But I definitely think I was not necessarily the worst. At least not all the fucking time. You know, fucking working on medium duty trucks. Dealership gets $120 fucking dollars an hour. I'm not even getting 18. Would I be allowed to fucking, you know, plus I was only getting the bitch work in the shop too. I've already been the shop bitch. I was a fucking ASE certified tech for almost 15 years, professionally. I already did my time as shop bitch. I already swept the fucking floors. Did the greasy, slimy shit that the senior guys in the shop didn't want to fucking get their hands dirty with. I've already fucking done that. Not doing that again. I have some level of fucking dignity. I stuck it out there for as long as I can. I try to be fucking sensitive. What the fuck is this thing doing? Like, why is it as soon as I go live, all of a sudden it's a fucking issue? Shit just starts freezing and shit. I can't see any of my fucking chats right now. So I don't know if anyone's talking to me. I'll keep that on. My employer was nice enough to not notice my email in time about the weekly rent for this place that was coming out of my check. So since I paid for an extra week, I'm fucking using my extra week. My electricity's scheduled to get turned off sometime tomorrow. So I'm taking advantage of being here and not having a commitment first thing in the fucking morning. Although I do have to fucking get gainful employment sooner than later. I have a couple of options. Neither one of them involve truck driving, though. One is at a transmission shop. The kid that runs that place is a fucking good guy. I definitely wouldn't mind working for him. Probably be a lot better to work for than who I just left. But it's turning wrenches again. I don't want to do that. I don't. I want to get my fucking CDL. I want to get out on the road. You know, driving trucks is one of the two things that I actually do good enough that I can earn a living in and be competent or more than competent at with a minimum of fuss. The fact of the matter is I already have fucking experience driving Class A vehicles. This is one of my fucking beefs. I'm driving trucks that are fucking overweight, combination vehicles that technically require a fucking CDL, and I can't even get an extra few bucks for the fucking risk I'm taking. And then motherfucker has the nerve to say to me, when I point this out to him, has the fucking nerve to say to me, oh, maybe I should make it a requirement for you to keep your job that you get a Class A. You fucking piece of shit. I've been trying to get a fucking Class A. You won't borrow the necessary trailer. You have the connections. Won't borrow the necessary trailer to put on the truck that we already had. I already had a fucking Class A driver ready to sponsor me. But no. Why? Because that would put me in a position to ask for more money. Because you're out of your fucking mind if you think you're going to get anybody with a Class A license to drive these fucking trucks for you for less than 20 bucks an hour unless they have a slew of fucking DWIs on their record. Fucking running trucks overweight. Let me tell you, we're going to do some basic fucking math, alright? These medium duty internationals weigh between 13.5 and 14.5 with fucking nobody sitting in them, no cargo in them. I know because I've brought them to the scrapyard. I've had them fucking scaled with nothing and nobody in them. Alright? 10 yards alone, which is that really good dirt that you want to put down when you're doing lawns and plantings and shit. 10 yards of that stuff. Those medium duties will take 10 yards volume-wise. But even if it's really dry loam and it's only about 2,000 pounds a yard, what's 10 times 2? That's 20. 20,000 pounds plus the 13 the truck already weighs. That's way over the fucking 26 that it's registered for. 26,001 pounds, you're supposed to have a fucking Class B at a minimum, and the truck has to be properly registered. But no, the fucking one of the brothers wouldn't just flat refuse to let me drive the 10-wheeler to get any fucking practice, even though realistically that's the only heavy fucking truck I was legally driving. With a farm plate, you can drive something 26,001 pound and up to 150 air miles from the farm. Why is this thing like not doing anything? Like this pisses me off. This pisses me off to no fucking end. I don't give a fuck how old a computer is. Like, I'm not asking much. I'm clicking on a fucking X on a browser window. If you're not going to do anything else, fucking close.
Please specify how you would like to proceed.
Close tabs, you fucking cocksucker. I'm hoping that my chat for you now stays, you know, moving. I don't know if anyone's over there watching. I will do my best not to fucking miss anybody. So, I am going to be looking for truck driving work. I have the fucking experience. I just need the license. So, working with a company that does in-house training and sponsoring would be ideal. I have the experience. I shouldn't have to fucking cough up thousands of dollars to go to a fucking truck driving school to do something I've been doing for years. Fucking 20 years I've driven for them. Even though, yes, I was a technician, I still fucking plowed for them. Pretty much every single fucking calendar year since high school, I've driven for these fucking people, and this is what they fucking, the shit they pull. Hey, thank you for that follow on Twitch. How are you doing? Bottom made of honey. I'm doing pretty good actually. This is likely going to be my last night that I'll be able to broadcast from here. You know, it'd be cool to get an over-the-road truck driving job and be able to do IRL streaming from the road and shit. Because I know not everybody gets to get out and see the country and shit. I've actually taken a number of road trips for work, and I still haven't been any further west than Kansas City, Missouri. I wasn't even able to get quite over the state line to see the Kansas side. So how are you doing? How have you been? I haven't been on much lately because I've been packing up and shit. This fucking thing's not working for shit. You know, I like to hook myself up with a host from my fucking bot, but this thing's slow as shit. One of my buddies got a decent laptop. He said he'd hook me up with. I don't want to take it from him until I can throw him a few bucks for it, though. Yeah, I'm moving. For the homies. Welcome over a mixer. Yes, close. So, I like these goofy shirts for the streaming and shit. I don't know. I know this one's kind of fucking. I don't even care like how dumb it is. Yeah, I'm moving. If everything pans out, I'll be able to keep streaming with not much more of a hiccup than I've already had the last couple of weeks. The app acting up for you, Countess? They're fucking booting you in and out and shit. I gotta say, the Mixer app, they keep fucking with it on the Xbox. They changed the emojis in the keyboard. At least for I think I have a preview. I think I have a preview version of the operating system now. Because it keeps asking me for feedback on the changes, and I haven't noticed all the changes. Sleep stream. I'd be curious if anybody who's sensitive to the paranormal would actually see anything in the camera. As much as I believe in the paranormal, apparently I'm not sensitive to it. I don't, aside from some of the doors and shit I've heard slamming in this place. I've heard stories about like spirits hanging around here and shit. My daughter said she's seen an apparition downstairs before. It just seems kind of creepy. Like, plus I snore like a fucking freight train. Like, I don't get that. The whole sleep stream thing. Like, and I'm kind of a creep. Like, ask anyone that knows me. I'm kind of a, and I really try hard not to be. Actually, this is one of the reasons why I have a kid. Though, is her mother was into me because I was kind of creepy. Even she, I'm kind of a creepy guy. I know this, despite trying not to be. I think it's because I'm socially awkward and shit. But I find that really the whole, like, just watching people sleep. And I'm a voyeur. So yeah, between that and the fucking obnoxious snoring, because I was born with a cleft palate or a cleft. My mother used to call it a cleft lip, but I got scar tissue in my the roof of my mouth and shit. If you look, my nose is kind of crooked. I think I was born with a cleft palate. Um, my head's all fucked up. So like I snore badly sometimes. Sometimes I don't snore at all. And other times it's just fucking brutal. So hopefully that's not an issue for the new roommates. As it is, I'm not gonna be able to bug out like I used to because I'm gonna have roommates and shit. Although at some point I think it would be cool. I got some friends that are in the music scene, and there's these jam spaces in the city where bands can rent these spaces and they can jam, I think, pretty much 24 fucking hours a day. Like, we've been there pretty late and it's loud and it's a fucking great atmosphere, and realistically you can make as much noise as you want there. I would definitely rent one of those if I could get an internet connection in there, specifically for the sake of broadcasting. Because then I could bug out, I could yell as much as I want, I could fucking scream, it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't have to worry about pissing off neighbors. I've been kind of spoiled here in that it's not that there's nobody around that can't hear me. Actually, I've gotten pretty fucking loud before. My ex-boss, his ex-wife lives behind this house. Yeah, he had to build her a house. That's first world problems. That's one thing that's good about being broke is I would never have to build someone a house. But I can build myself a house. But he's like, oh, you know, my ex-wife and my kids have heard you scream and you're so loud. And I got like the windows closed and shit. Oh my god. Don't know what to tell you, guy. Large part of it, large part of it is just seeing how, like, how many of you guys work, live check to check? I know I'm not the only one. I don't utilize credit cards and payday loans and shit like that. I have done title loans before. Been a while. But even those, like, they used to be reasonable in New Hampshire, and then they changed the regulations, and now they're really fucking predatory like any other loan like that. But, like, I know I'm not the only one that fucking lives check to check, and it's so irritating when you open up your fucking check, and like, it's not a lot. And you know it could be more. I don't know, I'm rambling. I can be, I like... Well, like, why... See, and this is the thing, too. This is what really cracks me up. People are like, oh, we're gonna boycott the government, not pay taxes, right? We're not gonna file tax returns. Let me tell you people something, and maybe Countess can back me up on this, or if you think I'm wrong, tell me. This is my opinion. I'm not a fucking accountant, but the government's got this figured out already. Most of us, our withholdings are going to exceed our tax liability. So in fact, they have money that's ours. We have to file that fucking return to get that money back. They figured that part out. You really want to boycott the government and income taxes? You got to work off the books, motherfucker. You want to know something else? And I'm sure they can back me up on this too. What's fucked up is income taxes, like earned income, like what most of us make, is taxed at a higher rate than like fucking dividend income and capital gains, and the type of income that the upper class generally gets their money from. Our system is fucked, people. It's very fucked. I'm not calling for total Marxist fucking socialism. Like, you look through history, anyone who's tried a Marxist system, it's been a complete fucking shit show. I'm not talking about full socialism, like, you know, we're as close to that as this country's financial system can really handle. I'm not inherently conservative. I'm all over the fucking place when it comes to politics. But there's a conservative the fuck's his name? Ben Shapiro. I don't agree with everything he has to say, but you gotta watch this motherfucker, for nothing else, just to learn how to debate. Like, this motherfucker is quick. Like, he is on his shit. I kind of agree with him on the abortion thing. I don't personally agree with the abortion thing, but he's kind of in the, if I'm reading him right, if I understand him correctly, he's in that sector of people that think it should be illegal. And I can respect that. I can respect his reasoning for that. It's kind of the reason why I don't agree with it personally. But I think it's wholly un-American to take that option off the table for someone else. At the end of the day, like, I'm not capable of carrying a kid, so it's not my place to fucking really to have any say in any legislation like that, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, some of his conservative opinions I do fucking agree with, some I don't. I was going somewhere with this, and now I fucking forget where I was going with this. Talking about money, I know that. Corporate tax is low. Oh yeah. One of the things I like about New Hampshire, and I if I could, because I'm legally a New Hampshire resident, I split time between New Hampshire and Mass, because the place I was working at up until this week, I was renting this place from them really cheap. Like, for the same amount of money an actual storage unit costs. And I'm out of here this week because they're ripping the house down this month, or at least that's the story. Although the guy downstairs hasn't moved a fucking damn thing out yet. Yeah, corporate tax rate, and that's the other thing is people, like, you got to look at the effective tax rate is the actual percentage of your income that you're paying in taxes. If you do TurboTax and you get earned income credit, look at your effective tax rate. Sometimes your effective tax rate will actually be in the negative percent, which means you're pulling money out of the tax pool instead of putting money in. There's very few tax credits that are refundable. Earned income tax credit is one of the few of them. Refundable credits mean once they offset your tax liability, you get the money that's left over. Most tax credits are non-refundable, which means once they absolve your tax liability, the rest kind of evaporates. Oh yeah, I know. I got a fucking chat pad and it's still a pain in the balls sometimes. A system, all right, you know, and I've said it on here before, a perfect communism would work, but humans are by nature greedy, lazy, power-centric, egocentric. As much as we are a species of people that need to be around other people, we are still very immature and self-centered as a fucking species. So that's why, as of right now, a communist type setup just won't work for us. Can you imagine our system communist with fucking Trump in office? And Pence? You think fucking... You people think Trump is fucking ass backwards. Pence is... He's a motherfucker. And Pence, if you ever come across this, you are a narrow-minded motherfucker. You should not be in the fucking White House. I think it's fucking mind-boggling. What's worse, though, is if you take out both of them, you know who's next in line? I think it's fucking Orrin Hatch, which is not good either. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, our government right now is kind of like a selection of cell phone plans. We kind of have to go with the one that sucks the least. That's what it feels like right now. Oh, Saturday will be 3 weeks I haven't had a cigarette. I'm vaping like a motherfucker, but I haven't had an actual, like, combustible cigarette. I haven't fucking smoked any traditional cannabis. Yeah. Like, I've heard the pro and con arguments for, like, your healthcare system, for instance, whereas everybody has healthcare, but there's a wait for it, to the point where some people have died waiting for operations, and other people have opted to come to the U.S. and pay cash for an operation because they can't wait for Canada. I remember even when I was a kid, very first trip to that our family did to Florida was February of '92. One second, I gotta resync my Discord to. I gotta resync my Discord to the chat. I got a little saucy tonight because I don't have work tomorrow, so I'm like, "What's up, Marksman?" It's gotta be early morning for you, isn't it? I gotta play something. I don't know what I'm gonna play. Got some peeps over on Periscope. Thank you for joining. Grass ain't green. No, I know. I don't know. We're in a very unique position. Our species is right now. Like the next 100 years is really going to dictate a lot as far as our ultimate longevity. You know, like what we do in the next 100 years. One of the good things about our system is, and what brings this to mind is, I'm sure a bunch of you guys out there in the U.S. got that EAS test that the president pushed out. I think it was about 2:15 Eastern Daylight Time. We haven't rolled the clocks back yet, so we're still on daylight time here. You know, hearing some people in various chats or whatever talking about the whole, nuclear war thing. Let me tell you something. As long as the U.S. currency is not backed by any kind of commodity like gold, you won't see a fucking thermonuclear war. Not a widespread exchange. If anything, I've said this before too, I think if anything, North Korea might start something because they really have the least to lose. Everyone else with nukes has an economy that's so wrapped up in the U.S. dollar, which of and in itself only has value because of the existence of the U.S. government as it is right now, that nobody would fucking allow a full-blown nuclear exchange because that would just fucking collapse society as we know it, and the upper 1% wouldn't have their power anymore because all this U.S. money they have would be fucking useless, be worthless. So we're kind of safe in that regard. They'll figure something else out. The new thing with fucking nukes is not a direct land hit, but like a detonation in the atmosphere to cause an EMP. That would really fuck shit up. That would fuck some shit up. I'd be irked. I'd be really irked if an EMP fucking wiped out all my electronics, as old as this shit is. Plus side, I could just fucking throw it away. You got snow already? How far north are you? Sub-Zero. I like that screen name, and I like that you get the little fucking degree thing there too. That's pretty cool. Calgary. That's up there. I'm not as good with my Canadian geography as I am with my U.S. geography, but that's in Alberta, isn't it? Which is like not central Canada, but like going towards the west. I'm like looking at the screen. I should be looking at the fucking camera. But it's like if you have Canada, and you like right here. I don't know. I like in my head. You guys have snow already? And it is October. I mean, I'm not in tank tops anymore. Kind of crept up too. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She's 11 now. Oh, I feel old. Like fucking, she grew up so damn quick. Oh, they grow up too fucking. The kids, they grow up too fucking fast. Freak snowstorm. Oh. We tend to get those in New England too. You know, I I have a love-hate relationship with snow in the winter. I like snowboarding, even though it's been a number of years since I've actually gotten to do it. I like snowboarding. I like snow plowing. I like driving a truck. I like plowing. I don't like having a shovel. Like the whole part of coming back to the company lot after the storm and having to knock 1.5 feet of snow off your fucking car, that sucks. The rust, that really fucking sucks. I wish I could, I wish I had the means, if I had a better setup here and I wasn't, I'm streaming off the fucking Xbox right now. If I had a better setup, I'd put up pictures of how bad my rear suspension of my car is because of the fucking salt. And up here in New England, they're using something else too for de-ice or magnesium chloride, and that shit trashes your vehicle too. Once my daughter gets a little bit older, the possibility of moving to a fucking warmer climate is not off the table. Florida, maybe fucking someplace dry. Arizona. No one likes shoveling. I don't mind digging holes. I don't like shoveling snow. Shoveling snow is not even that bad if it's the fucking fluffy stuff, but man, when it's like wet and heavy, that shit sucks. All set. We haven't had an extreme drop in temperature down here yet. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. Felt pretty warm when I was out earlier. Alright. Being Canadian, you should know Celsius. It's 14 degrees Celsius right now in the Boston area, which a few folks in the U.S., you want to do a rough estimate, Celsius to Fahrenheit, multiply it by 2 and add 32. So 28, 32, 60. So it's like 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, but like 2 weeks ago it was 100. And in another 2 weeks we could have fucking nights hitting below 30. New England, it will go literally 30 to 100 within the span of 14 days. And then back again. We'll have fucking 70-degree days in January, and then April roll around. We'll be freezing our balls off. No offense, ladies. I find it hard to believe that nobody has popped in over there. I suppose it's... Well, that's moving. Whatever. -3 Celsius or Fahrenheit? Celsius. 0 is 32, so it's like 29 degrees. That's fucking cold. Especially for this time of year. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? Because then you gotta fucking burn up money keeping your house warm and shit. Well, you Canadians are a little bit more advanced sometimes. Are you using like geothermal heat up there, or heat pumps, or do you just go broke keeping the fucking place warm? Natural gas. Yeah. Well, be careful with that shit. We just had down here in Mass, we had a series of fucking houses blow up recently, like 70 fucking houses within 3-4 contiguous towns exploded within hours of each other. Gas system, I don't know, gas system built up too much pressure or some shit. The only thing that makes sense is the system would have had to build up excess pressure. It's the only thing that would make sense in that scenario, but that kind of sucks about the natural gas is if you have an older infrastructure, you got to be careful with stuff like that. I feel like being that far west, your infrastructure is just naturally going to be newer than ours. just because of the natural European progression to go east to west. Yeah, you heard about that shit. It was Andover, North Andover, Lawrence. Yeah, fucking. Some of our natural gas infrastructure in this part of the country is pretty fucking old. And it's like, where the fuck does my tax dollars go? I don't have natural gas where I'm at now. This place has oil. You know, these fuckers too, right? They come along and they'll dig up the fucking street to fix their gas lines, and there's always that fucking. I don't know if this happens to you guys where you're at. That fucking concave road down the right side of the lane. Well, you know, Marksman, you know, I thought about that. I'm like, you know, the government would never fucking tell us that that was a cyber attack to begin with, because they wouldn't want to confirm to the general public that this system is that fucking vulnerable. But something like that, you got to think about this, right? How the fuck does that much of the natural gas system get overpressurized to the point where end nodes, in this case homes, were popping, basically? Think about this, right? The natural gas system is a plumbing system. It's supposed to operate at a certain pressure or lower, all right? You go above a certain safe threshold, something somewhere has to give. That's what happened in this case, North Andover, Andover, Lawrence. Certain points in the system, nodes, was what they would be called in a fucking network, these homes, certain ones, the valves didn't hold. They popped. And with an ignition source, it fucking ignited. Some of these homes, I'm surprised they weren't completely blown to smithereens. Channel 5, I noticed, was nice enough to fucking do a couple of laps around that SUV that had the chimney fall on it. Come to find out, there was some fucking 18-year-old kid under that pile of brick. Go figure, too, you know. A good kid, which is harder to come by in that neck of the woods. We'll just say that. So, of course, you know, if someone has to get a fucking pile of bricks dropped on them, it can't be a certified scumbag, right? So, I thought about that whole cyber terrorism thing. How else would the system get to that level of pressurization? Either somebody was asleep at the fucking switch, but it would seem to me that something like that should have redundant systems in place to warn you. And that's such a widespread area, I can't imagine that be left up to one fucking person or even one subsystem. So it got me to thinking that cyber terrorism would be a viable cause of something like that, but the government would never fucking tell us. We don't have the level of transparency with this government that we really should, especially considering the fact that we finance it. They are supposed to fucking answer to us, even though sometimes they don't act like it. I have a pretty good rapport with the police officers in this particular town, but I've never had even when I was a kid getting in trouble and getting pinched by them, I never had an issue with any of the cops in this town in particular violating my fucking civil rights or doing anything they weren't supposed to do. This does happen in other places. And I thought it was funny, my ex, who's from Indiana, where that piece of shit Mike Pence used to be governor, she's on the phone with me once, and the cops come to the house. I'm not going to get into the story why, it's a long story, but the cops come to the house, and they weren't here just to say hi this particular time. They come to the front door, and they ask if they can come in. I'm like, no, you got to wait out there. Here in official business. Let me tell you something. Even if you know these guys personally, they're at your house on official business. And this applies in the U.S. I don't know about Canada or Britain, but in the U.S., there is no probable cause to enter private property. There's probable cause to search a vehicle without a warrant and without permission. But that doesn't apply to private property. The only way the law can enter private property in most cases is by invitation or with a warrant. If they have, like, I think the probable cause really extends only like if they know someone's being harmed, like, you know, the cops are in front of the house and they hear a woman screaming for help in here, they're gonna come in. Like, that's a given. Some shit like that. But for the most part, they can't just walk in. Well, apparently in Indiana, the cops in Indiana like to abuse their authority, and it's just kind of accepted as the way it is. So she's on the phone with me, and I tell the cop, no, you can't come in. Did you just tell him you can't come in? Yeah, you know, we do have that right. Not in Indiana. I'm like, no, yes, it in Indiana also. The federal Constitution does not stop at the Indiana state line. Folks in Indiana, your state government may want you to believe that the U.S. federal Constitution applies everywhere else. It includes you guys too. So the next time 5-0 shows up to the door and they don't have a piece of paper signed by a judge, tell them to fuck off and remind them who pays their fucking salary. I didn't tell this guy to fuck off because, like, I was cool with him and shit. I said, no, you just gotta wait out there for a minute. You know, and everything was kosher, but she was just shocked. Being from, like, a red, you know, that's a red state. I don't think it's necessarily Republicans' fault, per se. There's plenty of fucking scumbag Democrats and independents and Tea Party people and fucking scumbags in every fucking political party. Tell me, what should I play? I don't know what the fuck to play. Wolfenstein is free with Game Pass, but I'd have to download it. Forza 4 is free with Game Pass, but I'd have to download it. I haven't been on GTA in forever. It is October, and I do have Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th. I'm not particularly awesome at any of them, but I like to play them. This was just kind of a rant. Like, I haven't been on in fucking forever, and usually, you know, you put something like, I got fired for your title, it'll attract some attention. So, I may have been fired, but the thing is, I was going to quit very, very soon anyways, and, you know, getting fired kind of really stemmed from me saying, you know, I can go home. I basically said I wasn't getting paid enough to put up with this shit anymore. The latest complaint was that he could hear me complaining at the dumpsters about the fucking gobs of grease that I was getting on me, because, again, you know, I don't fucking work there anymore. I'm out of this fucking house. I don't care. His brother's a fucking asshole. Alright? I've asked nicely not to fucking make a mess of these trash cans. This motherfucker I don't care if you're the boss. You don't bring him across the street. Don't be a fucking asshole and make a mess. I make it a point not to make a mess. So if someone else takes them, they're not getting fucking spooge all over them on my account. You know? So he's like, oh, well, you just wipe it down. You know, and I said to him, like, I just couldn't bite my tongue any fucking longer. I've been trying to, you know? I've been really trying to. Just to fucking get by for now. But I just couldn't bite my fucking tongue any longer. You know, I'm like, why the fuck is the buck stop with me? Listen to this shit, people. Alright? Instead of the person who's fucking making the mess, because I'm the one that gets stuck bringing the fucking trash across the street, it's now up to me to clean up the mess. Why not address the fucking person that makes the mess? Alright? This motherfucker takes the flatbed up to his place in New Hampshire. And comments to me about the fucking trash that's left in the cab. Now, the trash that was left in the cab was left from his other guys, the landscapers. I don't know who exactly, but it wasn't me. Some of these trucks still to this day have fucking stickers on the dashboard that my old man put on them. It says, take your trash with you. Some shit went fucking lax when he left. And people cleaning up after themselves in the trucks was something that people started laxing on after he left, because he used to get on their fucking case. Apparently, I'm not talented enough that I can get on people's cases like he could, like he was allowed to. But I could get bitched at for the fucking mess. You know, he's like, it's the responsibility of the last person to drive it. I'm like, okay, well, what about the fucking person that drove it before me that left the shit in there? Were you the last one to drive it? Like, are you trying to piss me the fuck off? Like, how could a fucking normal, sane person with some shred of fucking dignity not get pissed off about that? I was fucking suspended for a month and a half earlier this year. The catalyst for my suspension was one of the automatic transmissions and one of the internationals, is the 2000, the one that I like to use for deliveries, mind you. Spit out all its fluid plowing. And because one of the fucking bosses... Alright, we're going to fucking backpedal a little bit here. Alright, and I'm throwing you under the bus, Ken. I won't use your last name, but anyone from around here'll know who the fuck I'm talking about, and I don't give a fuck anymore. Because you especially, you Sasquatch motherfucker, you can go fuck yourself. And don't touch my fucking tools before they're out of that bind, because it would be very bad for you. And I mean that from a legal standpoint. This motherfucker. I got myself so fucking jacked up and I forget where I was going with this. God damn it, brain fart. Well, see, some of the fucking comments that he's fucking made to me recently that peeved me off. He didn't want to pay a local shop $400 to do the oil pan in the fucking 22-year-old work truck that we keep fixing because shit keeps breaking because they can't get it sold in time. You fucking asshole. You're paying me less than $18 an hour, and you, in your fucking position... Now, keep in mind, these are people that have never known what it's like to truly fucking struggle. Granted, they do have better work ethic than most people in their financial situation. I'll give them that. They don't drive douchebag mobiles like German cars and shit. They drive American cars. I'll give them that. But they still don't know what the fuck it's like to have to pick between buying food for the house and paying certain bills. They don't know what that is like. That causes stress on people. And getting suspended. Oh yeah, the transmission thing. That part, now I fucking... Alright, now I can get back in my transmission story. That just reminded me. I had that brain fart. Sorry, guys. Alright, so... 2000 International 47... We'll set the stage here. It's a 2000 International 4700. It's a 26,000 pound truck that we frequently run over 26,000 pounds because that's just been the norm there for the last 2 decades plus. I'm going to make sure my controller stays on so my mic works. Here's the first part of this whole equation that's fucked up. And this is what I'm calling Ken out on because he's a fucking asshole for this because he's the one that did it. He's the one that did it. He's the only other one that was there. He's the only other one that touches the fucking trucks. And, you know, I don't give a fuck. This motherfucker. The truck starts leaking transmission fluid from the spin-on filter on the transmission. It's an Allison 5-speed. It's got an external spin-on filter for transmission fluid filter. Nice and easy to change, right? It's got a fucking drain plug in the pan. Doing a filter and fluid service on this transmission, labor-wise, is fucking easy. And realistically, on a truck like this, that's plowing, that I'm putting mileage on doing deliveries, you know, at the height of the season, 1,500 miles a week, easy. Shit, if I was getting paid by the mile, I'd be making more fucking money. At least for that time of the year. You know, the filter had been on there for so long that it rusted to the point that it started leaking. It had the date on it that it was last replaced. Handwritten by my fucking father, who had left there years ago. Years ago. The fucking filter on this thing was 4 years old. I'm told to replace the filter. Now, he wrote the Napa part number for this filter in the door jamb. There is a difference between filter makes from time to time. The Napa filter was the one, this filter, I think it was like 7701. This was the filter that's been on this thing for 4 years, and it's been fine up until it rotted through. What are you doing, motherfucker? It was fine up until it rotted through. The boss tells me to get the filter from Bedford Auto Parts, which does not carry the same brand. He, as he would try to say to my face later, which was a fucking bold-faced lie, he did not tell me to get it from the dealership. He told me to get it specifically from Bedford Auto Parts. Alright? I do what he says. I get the corresponding filter from Bedford Auto Parts. Not having any other information to go on, because my dad doesn't work there anymore. And he's not, and the boss isn't around. Doing what an actual technician does. Alright, we're going to change the filter on this transmission. The filter's 4 years old. Ergo, the fluid must be 4 years old, right? Because nobody in their right fucking mind would crawl under this thing and drain the fucking fluid and see the date on the filter that's right there, that's easily accessible, easy to fucking replace. Nobody is that fucking lazy.
Direction unclear.
Not even Ken is that... Oh, thank you very much for that follow, Countess. Not even Ken is that fucking lazy that he would crawl under there and drop the fluid and blatantly see a filter that old in that physical condition that's that accessible and that easy to change. Right? So I do what a technician does, and I look up the proper fluid specs. I go to the dealership because they're the only game in town for that particular fluid. I mean, this is a very expensive transmission that gets a lot of use. These people are literally fucking millionaires. Now, granted, they're not upper 1% fucking millionaires, but granted, they're well enough off that they can spend the extra little money to put the right fluid into an automatic transmission in a fucking medium-duty truck. So, I get the correct fluid. I get bitched at for replacing the fucking fluid. Because apparently, this lazy motherfucker crawled under there. This is exactly what I didn't think anybody with any common sense would do. And this is coming from me. This motherfucker crawls under there, drains the fucking fluid, and doesn't change the filter. Nobody fucking tells me he does this. And he must have known that he was a lazy piece of shit for doing it. Because, thank you very much for that follow. Again, thank you. I just got the notification thing. You know, nobody would fucking be that dense to do that. And that's exactly what he did. So I get bitched at. I get bitched at for putting $130 worth of fluid into a truck that is worth easily $12,500, even at its age with mileage. A truck that they, in the last few years, put probably close to 10 grand in because one of the bosses blew up the fucking motor in the thing. T&L fixed that. You know, the fucking a DT 466 is not a cheap engine to fix if you overheat the motherfucker and keep driving the truck. So, I mean, spending $130 on the proper Allison fluid instead of just putting Dex 3 in it, which apparently was what my old man was doing. I guess that would have been fine, but whatever. The book said fucking Allison fluid. That's what I put in it. Everything was fine. I ran that truck for a good long while in front of the shop, and it wasn't leaking. But apparently at some point, snow plowing, that filter came loose. The boss, without having anybody who had a clue what the fuck they were doing on site to assess the volume of fluid leakage, told the person operating the truck, before I was able to get there and visually assess the leakage myself, to drive it back from the road that we're assigned to in Lincoln back to the barn. In that time frame, it dumped all its fluid. Now, if the motherfucker just waited for me to get there, I would have seen it leaking. I could have tried spinning the filter back on to tighten it up. Something. Had him shut it down. We could have done something. Even if it meant leaving the truck there in the spot, plowing around it till the next morning and getting a fucking Napa filter and more fluid. We could have done that. But no, he was told to drive back by somebody who was not there to assess the fucking problem. That person was not me. This motherfucker fucks with the filter. Ultimately, the transmission's hosed because it was driven with no fucking fluid in it. You can't do that with any automatic, let alone a fucking medium-duty automatic like that. $6,000 at the dealership. You know what's funny, though? That was the catalyst for me getting suspended. But when it came to pass from the dealer and I caught wind of this, that the only thing they could find was improper filter installation. And in fact, he was the last one to touch the fucking filter. Oh, well, you have a good night. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you very much for that follow. He's the last one to fuck with the filter. The only fault that I ever caught wind of from the dealership was that it was improper filter installation. And again, he was the last one to touch the filter before it went to the dealer. So yeah, and not only that, like, it was just dropped. Thank you very much, Countess. You have a good night. It was dropped from there. He never said another word about it, never apologized, never said that I was still at fault for it, whatever the fuck. It was just fucking dropped. Of course, until I brought up later the fact that another operator there had caused more than $6,000 in damage to 3 different trucks, 2 of them being the brand new ones in the fucking fleet, and not getting penalized, reprimanded, disciplined at all. Fucking Ken has the nerve to turn around and say, $6,000, that transmission was $6,000. Well, motherfucker, you're the one that fucked it up. You should have changed the fucking filter when you crawled under there to do the fluid, you stupid prick. I may be a fucking regular cannabis user. At least I'm not a fucking alcoholic. Alright? You know, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how functional you are. If you're an alcoholic, you're going to be fucking sloppy and you're going to fuck up at some point. More so than any fucking cannabis user out there. Hey, how you doing? I could play some Dead by Daylight and try to hang some motherfuckers up to dry and shit. I haven't played Killer in that in forever. Need a coffee refill. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really care that I don't really care that I lost the job because I'm not losing much. They were paying me fucking half of what that position should be paying in this part of the fucking country with my experience level. I was the safest fucking driver they had on staff, whether Sasquatch wants to fucking admit it or not. This is funny too, right? When I point out, I do try to be modest. I try not to be conceited, but like I said, driving is one of the only things that I'm like truly fucking good enough at in this world to make a good living at. You know, when I point out to this motherfucker that I'm the safest driver that he's got on staff. Oh, no, you're not. Like, this is coming from the fucking guy who has 2 throttle positions, 0 and wide open. This motherfucker doesn't know how to feather it anywhere in between. I've been in his truck with him. And, you know, you talk about fucking 6.5 feet fucking to the boards, you know, practically fucking Fred Flintstone in that motherfucker. And he's gonna... I am far from fucking perfect. There are plenty of people in this fucking world that are better than me. That's not me showing a lack of confidence. That's just the way it is. I don't give a fuck who you are. There's always someone out there that's better than you in some fashion. What I mean better is like, you know, as far as character wholesomeness or whatever. Or behavior, whatever the fuck. There's always going to be someone out there that's just generally doing better than you. There's always going to be someone out there that's generally doing worse than you. Don't be full of yourself. I try not to be full of myself, but I don't like when people fucking spit falsehoods in my face. I was getting fucking singled out and picked on. The only explanation I could receive from my employer, my former employer, was that he was just starting with the worst offender. Apparently I'd become the worst offender. I was also the only one that suffered from fucking depression on a regular basis. At least the only one open enough that everyone knew. Like, I'm fucking pretty open about it. Like, I suffer from depression frequently, and it sucks. And I do my best to deal with it. And when I enjoyed my fucking job, when I felt like I was valued at my job, it was immensely easier, no matter how fucking bummed out I was about other shit, to get up and go to work. When I went to being treated like a piece of shit, yeah, that's different, you know? Being taken advantage of, as far as I'm concerned, like with the fucking mechanical work. Have me do the shit work. It doesn't matter. I'm out of there now. I'm not sweating it. I'm not sweating it at all. They did done fuck up. One, I told them to not take out fucking rent for this place for this week, and they did. So I'm gonna fucking ride out this week since I paid for it. In Massachusetts, when you get terminated, and I'm gonna address this stuff as time allows. When you get terminated in Massachusetts, your employer is supposed to furnish payment for every hour you have worked up to that point that day, and they're supposed to compensate you for your earned vacation time. It's according to, I just looked this up yesterday. I want to say Mass General Law, Chapter 149, Section 148, or it's Chapter 148, Section 149. I'll double check, but in any event, they didn't do that. This is something else that pissed me off. Is other employees there have no called, no showed. That's when you just fucking don't come into work, don't make contact with anybody, don't answer anybody. Alright? My most recent call out, I was in touch with the boss. But I didn't say right off the bat that I wasn't feeling good and was not going to be in at all. It was actually that I was not feeling good and I was going to try to make it in. I wasn't ready to throw in the towel on the day yet, but I wasn't feeling good. I ended up passing out. And I didn't answer him for the rest of the day because I fucking passed out. I was fucking sick. I don't like throwing in the towel on shit right away. I'm told I'm suspended for the following day. And then when the following week comes along and I want to use sick time for the day that I called out, that I essentially called out, and then a vacation day that I have for the following day, I get all kinds of fucking static until I have to threaten legal action, and then I'm told I can use vacation time for both days. You know what? I should have been able to use fucking sick time for the day that I was in contact with this motherfucker, since other people, they have no called, no showed, and then turn around and use sick time with no fucking hassles. That's something that if you're an employer, you must be aware of, is that your policies must be uniform on their face and uniform in how they are fucking applied. Give me a fucking hard time because I started speaking up about shit. Because I wanted the trucks to fucking be legal after I got flagged by the state police. You know? Because I wanted to fucking be legal. And what? Because getting me the shit I need to be legal puts me in a position to ask for more money? Yeah. What the fuck, man? You're not going to find a fucking Class A driver for less than 20 bucks an hour. Have fun trying to find a Class B driver for less than 20 bucks an hour. Not going to fucking happen. Never mind somebody that you think is also going to double as a fucking mechanic. Alright, I've been bitching for fucking 75 minutes now. I want to play something. I don't know what the fuck to play, though. I mean, I could just chill and go into fucking Minecraft. Stuntman Ignition. What's this bullshit? I thought I already downloaded a game like this. I never did get Facebook to reopen. I have no idea if I'm broadcasting on Facebook. Oh, I guess not, because this says it's disabled. Fuck it. I guess we can check this out. It's only 6 gig. Although I think I need some room. They still haven't given me the option of to show everything. I'm still on full screen right now. Oops. Yeah, see, that doesn't do anything for me. Alright. I need to fucking... You know what I'll do? I need to hit the head anyways, get my coffee, and... I'm really OCD... Cut the shit. I'm really OCD about this. When I start a stream with a new game, I want it to be a whole separate stream. There's a couple of reasons for this. Once you start broadcasting on Periscope, you can't... It doesn't seem to be any way to change the title while you're live. So I like my titles to be specific and accurate. Same thing with YouTube. I like to have a separate video each on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to do. I will be back. I'm pretty fucking wide, so I will be back.